everyone, it's me Jenny and this is another review from Movie Club Strikes Back. It's my first scheduled one of 2015. You can expect me to do these reviews every Tuesday, and I will be reviewing the one Movie Club Strike Back pick that I have not watched yet. I hadn't watched it yet, even though it was picked in September, because I couldn't find it on the internet. It was the first time in my life that I was trying to find something on the internet and I couldn't find it ever. And I believe it was because I was using Safe Search before, but now I can find it. And that film, and I have watched it, is Samurai Cop, which was picked by the fabulous Matt Lieberman. I'll put a link to him on screen, but frankly, you should go watch him more than you should watch me. He's, you know, one of the main source-fed people, and he's amazing and fabulous, and I managed to actually have a quick chat with him at 4 o'clock in the morning on a Lieber Friends hangout, and he's a really nice dude. So honestly, go watch his channel. Why are you watching me? And he chose, as I said, Samurai Cop, which is very hard to explain how immensely enjoyable this film is. I feel like I've lost brain cells by watching it. I feel like it is, by any definition of a good film, not a good film, and yet I literally spent the entire time with a grin on my face, because every 2-3 seconds there is what would be counted as a cinema sin. If you know what that is, go watch that channel, don't watch me. Seriously, it's one of those things. But yeah, I keep on talking about channels that are way better than me, I need to shush. But yes, basically every 2 or 3 minutes, 2 or 3 seconds, there is a continuity error, or a production error, or an acting fault, or a script problem, or something just so preposterously out of the blue that you can't, like, help but laugh. It's a weird, wonderful film, and I 100% recommend it. It's so funny. Obviously, there is gore, there is quite a lot of nudity, there is a lot of bad language, and there's some racial undertones which are truly hilarious and appalling. So if you don't mind those things, please go watch this film. And that being said, the gore and the violence in this are nothing compared to, say for example, Zombies at the Centre of the Earth. And the nudity, like, usually sex scenes make me feel really uncomfortable, but in this there's only one sex scene that made me feel even mildly uncomfortable, and that was the last one, when they were actually trying to be sincere. They were trying to go for romance, and that kind of grossed me out because it was slightly too prolonged. But all of the other ones were so silly and so short-lived and so ridiculous, and for lack of a better word, sloppy, that I literally just enjoyed the hell out of them because they were hilarious. They're just hilarious. They're all like, there's one naked girl and the rest are all like in their undies, and it's equal male to female naked ratio, which is something that's so rare to me that it's just hilarious. There's something that's just so sloppy and so just bizarrely fun, and I don't know why, but I really, like, as someone who doesn't like sex scenes, I found it hilarious. It was just completely unnecessary but brilliant and totally fit in with the genre. So yes. Going along, I'm just gonna carry on. The women in this are hilarious. They're all like sexual fiends, like the good girl who like goes to church and is in love with the hero after, you know, I think 2 conversations and 1 fuck date. And I'm going to be swearing in this review, I apologise, it's just going to happen. She's just, they're all such ridiculously over-the-top sexual characters, and it's hilarious. And the innuendo that some of these girls come up with isn't even innuendo. It doesn't even deserve the term double entendre, because there's no double meaning, there's just one meaning. It's, you know, just as long as you keep it up, it is up. Just as long as you keep it hot and warm up there. What? I'm going so red right now. It's ridiculous. I can't believe I said that out loud, but I'm quoting, so it doesn't matter. It's so hilarious. There's a point where there's a nurse who's literally given an injection to a guy because, you know, he's in agonising pain because he's got burns all over his face, to the point where he won't be able to talk anymore because his lips are burnt, and it'll take him weeks and weeks to be able to regain the ability to talk. And she's literally stood in the same room as this patient and goes, "Do you like what you see? Do you want to touch what you see? Do you want to fuck what you see?" And you're like, what? And then, you know, Samurai Cop, our hero, turns around and they have an entire banter session about his penis in front of a patient who's, you know, bleeding through his bandages. It's very weird to see girls who are that full frontal in many ways, but it was damn hilarious. So points. It's oddly feminist for women to be so outspoken. Yeah. So women in this, generally the acting in this, the actors either are all stunt doubles, I know the main character is a stunt double, or they've been dragged into clothing off the set of a porn. Possibly either or. And you can tell throughout that sometimes the stunt doubles, who I think most of the male cast are stunt doubles, have just been repeat casts, so they're a henchman, a nameless henchman who gets shot relatively early on, and then they'll come back in the last scene because they ran out of people to act that scene. That's what it felt like. I don't know if that actually happened, but it felt like that happened a couple of times. Just the acting throughout is so bad, and so brilliantly bad, and with the awful script writing and the bad ADR, so there's some points where clearly either they forgot to write a line into the script, or they forgot to film a script, or the delivery was so awful they couldn't put it in the film, where they've had to put in ADR over the back of people's heads, so they're like, and here's a line over your mullet, and the mullets, oh my god, so many mullets, so many bad fashion choices, so many thongs, both, I know I think they're all just female thongs, but there's a lot of I don't know, speedos on the boys' parts as well. It's the fashion and the hair and the look and the acting and the script is also beautifully awful and perfect. There's weird racial stereotypes. In fact, if those who are not porn stars are racial stereotypes who just bathe in it. Some of the stuff that comes out, like the whole black ass subplot, was one of the weirdest things I've ever heard put into dialogue. So yeah. The actions? I suppose the action was one of the more compelling parts of this because they are all stunt doubles, but it's not perfect. You can see, you know, hits being missed. There's the samurai section where it's literally just one, you know, one guy fighting the camera and then the other guy fighting the camera, and then you have one shot of them doing kind of stage acting. It's not well directed, no matter how good the physicality of the actors are. If it's not well directed, it's gonna look shitty, and it looks shitty, and again, back to the ADR, the sound coverage, where it's either really clunky sound effects or really awful ADR, like oh, and slightly racist, oh, type things. It's just brilliant. I'm doing the weird dance because I don't know how to explain how strange this film is. Anywho, if you can't tell, I really enjoy this film. I would really recommend it if you're okay with really funny, awkward nudity and some weird violence and, oh my god, did you just do that in a hospital in broad daylight with a sword? That sounded sexual. It's not sexual. Really not sexual. It's just really weird plot points. I've got to just give a shout out to the script because it's an exposition machine. It's literally, I did this then, and then you did this then, and then we did this, and this is my name, and this is what I do. Did you know that? Yes, that's what he does as well. Did you know that? Yeah, okay. Followed by, like, at the one point where exposition was needed, they were like, there's no time, I can't tell you this, and he says that 4 times. There's no time. There really is no time. I really can't tell you. Gangsters are on the way to kill you. No, there's no time to tell you that. Yeah. Oh, the script is so good, and I think the one actor who was allowed to do improv was like the boss character, who comes up with, I think either he couldn't understand the script or he was given permission to be like really creative with the script, but he came out with a line which was something along the lines of, I want you to go to his house and burn it into a bloodbath. Which is such a beautiful combination of metaphors that I think that's the way I shall end this review. I'm sorry I've talked so long, I'm sorry I've been slightly so buzzed. It was a long day at work followed by one of the silliest movies of all time. If you're in the right mood, please watch it. Feel free to comment down below and tell me how much of a crazy idiot I am. And feel free to go over to Movie Club Strikes Back, send over my love, because they're amazing, and there'll be lots of videos coming out in the new year. If you want to see live hangouts, we do live hangouts every Saturday, and we're just a bunch of crazy, wonderful people, if I do say so myself. And also I'll link to Matt Lieberman, even though he really doesn't need my help. Yeah, thank you for the pick, Matt. You're amazing. Bye guys.